It's that time again for the Unscheduled podcast. I'm your host for today, Javi, and I'm joined today by my co-host, the wonderful, the rugged, the reliable, and the man that makes you uninstall your Tinder, my co-host, Zach.
Damn, now that's an intro. Wow. Oh man, I don't know if I can live up to that, but thanks, man. It's good to see you again today.
Absolutely, and I mean every word of it, man. But regardless, how are you feeling today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. This week has been, for the most part, pretty good. Just a couple of things here or there. Every week has its ups and downs, but for the most part, I can say it's like 8 out of 10.
That's good then. Yeah, actually, yeah. And speaking out of 8 out of 10s, we're gonna be for today's episode, we're gonna be talking about our sort of recommendations for anime.
Yeah. So we got into this a little bit in the last episode, actually, I think.
Yeah.
And speaking of episodes, just real quick, we made it to episode 10.
Yes.
Yeah, there we
Ooh,
go. A little bit of a
clapping
round of
emoji.
applause there. We made it to episode 10. I'm really happy we actually went and stuck to this through to the double digits.
No, yeah, seriously. There's like how like just think off the top of your head, like
Yeah.
how many projects have you seen like either yourself or like other people just like they start a project and then they just kind of like fade out after like maybe like the second or third iteration. I am actually kind of like happy that we've made it this far at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like yeah, like it's not like, like Rooster Teeth's like podcast or anything like that, like in
Oh
terms
no,
of
no, no. There are
length.
so many podcasts out there that are like 300 plus episodes, but they've been doing it for years. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, that's fine. Getting to the double digits in my head at least is a
Hmm.
good goal enough, especially when you're starting out, because that means like at that point you've committed to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm fairly happy with it. It definitely has lasted longer than other projects I've tried.
Hmm.
And but that's neither here nor there. Back to what we are actually going to talk about today. So you actually came up with this topic again after like last episode. You brought this up to me after the show.
Yeah, I was actually watching a YouTuber and they were talking about their sort of recommendations and they were going through the website that I'm using and what they used was called My Anime List, which is a popular
Hmm.
website used for rating anime, seeing what's suggested, what
Yeah,
did you
yeah. I've
see?
seen it. When I try to find like some very niche mangas or anime that I've only seen like or read a chapter of, definitely I go to there sometimes to try and find things. But it's very limited in some of the stuff I can find.
Exactly, but for most popular stuff, you can definitely find it on there and add it to your
Yeah,
list and stuff like that.
yeah.
So I saw that and I was like, you know what? That's pretty interesting. I got excited into it. I wanted to like go through like what have I actually seen, and I
Yeah,
realized in the
yeah.
process that I've watched a lot more anime that I gave myself credit for. So,
Nice. That's good.
um,
That's good.
as a result of that, I thought to myself, hey, you know what? For someone that might be new into it or has a very limited exposure to
Yeah.
anime, why not, make some suggestions, and share that with our listeners.
Yeah, sure. You know what? I'm gonna stick to like this is gonna be my key rule, at least for me. I'm sticking to manga and anime because I don't know web comics, webtoons,
Yeah.
Chinese manhwa, or Korean manhwa. I don't know any of those. Like I've read a few here and there, but I have like no next to no knowledge on any of them through my
Yeah.
exposure. So I'm gonna stick to strictly manga and anime for this. Just a
Uh,
heads up for everyone.
no, yeah. What I have on here is primarily Japanese manga and anime as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, do you want to do films or no films?
Yeah, we can throw in films because
Yeah.
they kind of are in their own category, but they also like some of the films have some really good manga in themselves. So I'll do
Yeah.
films.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. So you brought this up, so you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. So, for my first suggestion, I actually gave this a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I would highly recommend everyone before, quarantine, just while everyone still has a chance to, do stuff right now,
Yeah.
I would highly recommend people watch Gurren Lagann.
Oh,
Gurren
okay. That's a
Lagann,
good one. That has a
yeah,
huge fan base.
yeah, Gurren Lagann. So, it's kind of similar to like it's not Evangelion by any means, but it is similar to it in
No,
the fact that it's a mecha anime, but it's not a mecha anime.
it doesn't. It's its focus is not on the mecha. That's
Exactly.
the thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
an
I don't.
anime with mecha, not a mecha anime. That's the best way to
Yeah.
put it.
Yeah, but the mecha, scenes and stuff like that are very well animated. It's beautiful to watch,
Yeah.
for like the first time I watched it was like last year, I think. And when I watched it, I thought it came out like this decade, well, the 2010s, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2015.
No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
It came out in 2007
Yeah.
and it looks
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah, it has
Everything,
aged well. It has aged very well.
yeah. And, just to draw some comparisons to an anime that I was watching before, when you compare it to some of the fight scenes in Black Clover that's been serializing, for the past 2 years, uh,
Wow, it's already been 2 years on that anime.
yeah, Gurren Lagann looks pretty damn good, especially for its
Oh
time.
yeah,
So
very much so.
for the animation, for the characters, and for the, as the story progresses, and like something that I think Gurren Lagann does very well is the way it expands the universe. Quite literally. I don't want to get into spoilers, but it does kind of really expand in such a
Yeah,
grandiose way
yeah.
that it's very satisfying to watch it.
There
So
are definitely we're gonna definitely gonna do our best to avoid spoilers today.
yeah.
Let's see. All right. So my thoughts on Gurren Lagann. I've actually never seen it all the way through,
Oh.
and that's not that I didn't like it or anything. It's just it was spoiled for me
Oh.
before I ever finished watching it.
Damn.
So, and I wasn't angry about the spoilers or anything because I went in partially spoiled because people were trying to get me to watch it, and like this was back when it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is when it was just this is back when like animes would release their entire season in one go, not like how it
Yeah.
is kind of now, where it's like weekly things. Like
Yeah.
it's weird. It kind of when anime kind of is in this weird transition where 90s it was weekly or daily episodic.
Mm-hmm.
Then it came to where they released the entire season all at once for some channels or areas, and then it's kind of gone back to weekly. And it's a little bit of both depending on where you watch it now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. So at the time, like when it was still coming out, I was told I should watch it, and I started watching it, and then I fell off of it for a bit because I was checking out some other anime and manga,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was trying to go back to it, so I was watching some top 10 lists on some stuff, and then it started just going straight into spoilers and stuff, and there was no spoiler warning whatsoever.
Yeah,
Either. So I was just like, oh, okay, sure. I mean, there's really no point in watching the story anymore.
man,
Yeah.
that's off. Okay, just for my personal like was it something towards the end or something that happens very early on?
I got spoiled the very biggest piece
Okay.
of yeah, like I literally got spoiled for the turning point, and then
Okay.
I also got the ending spoiled.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my God, because that
yeah.
really is like it I cannot stress enough how much
I did
that
go out of my way though to specifically watch the last episode after I got everything spoiled.
okay.
Yeah. So because the final episode is beautifully animated,
Yes, it's
but
incredible.
I'm not gonna go any more into that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Because again, I'm not trying to spoil anything for anyone.
No, yeah, that sounds fine. So if you want we can like switch on and off,
Yeah.
my recommendation, your recommendations. So we can do it like
Yeah.
that.
That sounds good. All right. So I've been thinking about this like ever since you suggested the episode.
Hmm.
I'm gonna break mine down a little bit more into category.
Okay.
So, if I had to recommend an anime, but this is my first choice would probably be a beginner's anime. Yeah.
Okay.
This one is definitely a beginner's anime. Let's see. I dug through this, and it's been a while since I've seen some of these, so it took me a bit. If I were to give a beginner's anime, then I would say go with Fairy Tail. Like I'm a huge Fairy Tail fan.
Yeah.
Like I love the show to death. I've kept up with it. I've kept up with the manga, the new manga, and the anime throughout its years. And I know people are like, "Oh, Fairy Tail, oh, it's not that great." And I'm like, you know what? Shut up. I don't care. This is our list.
Yeah.
It's a really good anime in my opinion. Like it's very by the book shonen. It's fan service is ridiculous and off the charts, where to the point I'm bored of it. But however, it has some great character development, and for as much as people get pissed and stuff, I love the overarching stories it has.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to get into spoilers or anything, but you get this lovable cast of characters. You have, like, and then I can't say this without spoiling things either, so I'm not going to say too much, but, like, you love to see the action. Again, as you watch the anime progress, the voice acting, the animation, the music just gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
And the music already starts from the very beginning at a great height. I would say definitely that's what drew me in more than anything was the music.
Wow.
Like, I have an entire playlist of just fairy tale openings and outros. Like, the music was just that good for me. But, yeah. I love the characters. I love the stories. And again, I understand they're a bit cheesy. I understand that it's definitely a shonen by the book.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just really good in my head, too. Like, that would be what I would recommend a starter anime. And, you know, the other reason I was a little hesitant to say this as the starter anime was because of its length. But the more I thought about it, I was like, definitely, if you're going to watch anime, start off, pick your one that is going to be a long one, because some anime just keep going. And, like, on average, I would say the average amount of episodes nowadays is at least 50, 60 episodes.
Yeah.
For at least the ones I've seen. I can't speak for all of them.
No, I think you make a great point about how Fairy Tail would make a good sort of this might sound bad, but kind of like a gateway anime.
Yeah.
But like I kind of agree with that because, like you said, it's like being by the book shonen isn't a bad thing, especially for people that are getting into anime, because that's a good representation of what like a good anime looks like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's a good representation of like what you can kind of expect from an anime, at least from a starting point of view. So, like you said, maybe like something like the length might turn people off, but in terms of the story and like as like sort of like a mode to like ease people in, I think Fairy Tail is a great choice.
Yeah.
Actually.
And also keep in mind, this manga / anime is meant for, like, I want to say, like, pre-teen to young teen age. So it's like between 10 and 14, I would say, is their demographic. So, take the show with a grain of salt, but to me, it's like that's definitely an anime that you get a very well-rounded of, like, a little touch of everything. Ooh, sorry, I just accidentally hit my mic there.
No problem.
But yeah, I would say that's a good starting point. And, you know, there are a bunch of other good starter animes and stuff, but that's what I would recommend.
No, yeah, absolutely. I actually have a few anime on here as well that I would say might be good for starting, but actually, kind of moving on from that, I have one anime in particular, and this is something you actually introduced to me when we were both going to college, and it's something I feel a lot more people should know about, especially over here, and that is Skit Dance.
Oh man, I haven't heard that in a while, and I love that anime.
Skit Dance is, well, actually, to give a little brief synopsis of Skit Dance, it's about this group of three teenagers at school who are basically like the like support group for like all the students on campus. They basically, you know, answer requests for all the students on campus, and it's essentially a comedy anime. I would call it that. Sometimes it's mixed with
very
even
much
drama.
so. It is a, like, I mean, this is the weird part about anime is that they never stick to one single genre. Anime usually has like 5 or 6 genres tagged within like one series.
No, yeah, exactly. Skit Dance
it's a little hard to describe, but if I were to break it down to its basics, it is comedy, slice of life, and then school life, which kind of like the last two seem to be the same, but they're different. And I'm not going to go into details on that, but just know that they are different.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, especially the characters, the concepts that they go through, you know, the setting is very like, you know, it's not anything like groundbreaking, but it feels very appropriate for the characters, if that makes sense. Like they don't it like it, they did. I think what they did a good job of is actually matching the characters to everything that surrounds them.
Yeah, I would say this, and they literally recognize this in the series. If you're a fan of Gintama, for all of our anime fans who are already listening,
Yeah.
/ watching. The creator of Sket Dance used to work with the creator of Gintama, then broke off to make Sket Dance.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. They literally address this, but I'm not gonna get into that. But
Yeah. No.
it is a great show for like if you just wanna find something to laugh at, it's just go to Sket Dance, and then the manga goes into so much more detail and other stuff about it that it like expands the universe quite a bit.
Yeah. Honestly.
My favorite part about that anime is that it never takes itself seriously. Like you've seen, it'll hit this like 10 out of 10 intense moment
Mm-hmm.
and slide into a joke like there was nothing, like it's nothing.
Absolutely. No. Yeah. Um. Just saying. In case you do go watch this show and come back to this episode after you watch it, just know that my favorite character is Switch Kun, and that's for a very good reason. Because especially because I don't know
Oh
if you knew
god,
this.
that is so good.
Yeah, because he also has the same voice actor in Japanese as Joseph Joestar, and he's
Really?
already yeah, and he's all and if you
Really?
yeah, and if you know who Joseph Joestar is from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you know that he's like probably the funniest JoJo out of all of them. So it makes sense for his character as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. All right. So I got my next one then, thinking about it right now. And this is actually one I recently fell in love with,
Okay.
which, on the note of love, I think some people may know where this is going. I actually really got into Kaguya sama Love is War.
Yes. Yes.
So, like, going off of the comedy bit, um, okay, so let me explain at least how the anime presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
The anime presents itself as there are these two. It is a very rich school, like
Mm-hmm.
extremely rich people at the height
Yeah.
of like peak of money in Japan who are going to school together. So the school president and the vice president are in love with each other, but both of them have so much pride that they refuse to confess to each other and are trying to get the other to confess to them. And there's these weird strategy mind games that goes into it just to get them to do all of this.
Yes. So, oh my God. Like, I'm so glad you brought this up because
Yeah.
I actually have it on my list as well. I gave it a 9 out of 10 on my list
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I would give
it's,
it a solid 9 out of 10.
I think it really does deserve that because not only because of the animation is pretty damn good for a slight, for like what you consider like a
Yeah.
comedy,
Oh yeah.
romance. It's not even a battle
Yeah.
shonen anime. It's like literally that. But yeah, the concepts and the situations that they put themselves in as a result of their stubbornness and the refusal to accept each other's love
Oh yeah.
is just hilarious. I
My
think it makes
favorite No, go ahead. Sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
I think it makes for peak comedy, and I
Oh,
think they
very
actually
much so.
yeah
There is no reason for it to be as intense as it gets for some of this stuff.
yeah
And,
yeah
I will say this though. The anime is a great gateway into the
mm,
manga. Watch all of the anime because right now season 1 and 2 are out as of the time of this recording.
yeah
Then check out the manga. It is so good because there is so much more than you think to this universe.
absolutely Kaguya like that. It's so funny you brought that up because like I think that's kind of like I've heard a lot of people talk about this on the internet before, but like
Yeah.
realistically speaking, anime is like the best advertisement for a manga you could possibly have
Yeah,
because
that's essentially what it is. Like
yeah
in a weird way, anime is just a greater form of ads.
yeah exactly because like I read Kaguya-sama up to like chapter like 100 or something because
Yeah.
of the first
Yeah.
season of the anime. I need to catch up on season 2, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm glad you like
So
it.
how I got into Kaguya was my roommate got me into Kaguya,
Mm,
and then we watched season 1 together. Then Abby, who we've had on the show before, recommended I watch season 2. So I went through season 2, loved season 2.
yep.
Then she told me about how there was about I should read the manga, and then on top of that, there's already a spin-off manga, which is called
Yeah.
Let's Talk About Kaguya-sama. And the comedy throughout all of it is just peak gold. But I think my favorite part about Kaguya is that my favorite characters aren't even the main characters.
Mm,
And I know that sounds weird. It's like that makes it sound like they're not good main characters. No, it's just the world is developed that well. And the other characters are given so much to shine.
No, absolutely. Like this isn't even a spoiler, but like the maid for Kaguya, I forgot her name, but the blonde maid for
Hayasaka,
Kaguya, yeah,
oh,
she is
bet.
she's incredible.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then so the two names I would say you need to know going into the anime slash manga are Hayasaka and Ishigami. Those are the two
Yeah.
biggest names you need to know. Just you don't even have to know who they are or what they do. Just know the names. That's it.
Yep.
That's all I can really say.
Yeah. This is a little bit of a tangent, but I can't like didn't Ishigami come in like 5 episodes into season one or something like that? I'm surprised he came in that
Maybe
late.
I can't remember honestly off the top of my head. Like I buried myself so much into the manga recently. I don't even remember where everyone started off.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm just gonna say this. I want a quick hot take on this. If you
Mm,
haven't watched it, pause right here. I'm letting you know this now. Pause right here. This is not a spoiler. This is just my take.
okay.
Pause right here. Go watch at least season one, then
Mm-hmm.
come back. All right. I'm giving you this is your final chance. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay, my hot take. I don't like Chica.
Wow, that really is a hot. That's scalding hot. I feel like I'm on the surface of the sun right now.
Yeah.
Like
I
like
like I get her purpose. I
yeah.
get why she is the way she is,
Mm-hmm.
but it gets boring to a point on like
Mm.
for me. There is a moment in the manga where they literally address this and I'm just like thank you. Thank you for at least they don't I'm not even going to say how they address it, whether they do it
Mm-hmm.
directly or indirectly. They just address it for me, but as much popularity as she gets, and I'm not going to knock on people who like her or anything. I
Mm-hmm.
just personally don't like Chica.
Yeah.
She's just that annoying character to me. And there's always that character for me in anime. Like, or any video game or, any media. There's just that annoying character. But
Teddy Persona 4. Yeah.
I would definitely say Chica is not a character I'm a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty tired of her antics. And it got to a weird point where I was kind of predicting some things with her.
Ooh,
And
okay.
it's fun when they oh, you thought she was gonna do this, but then she doesn't do this, and it's like that's okay. But after going through what I know fully now, I just don't care for Chica. I get it. She's the most popular character. Still don't care for her.
Yeah, no. I mean, I I can understand where you're coming from. Because I vividly remember Chica. Like I can never forget like her dance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's a very memorable character. Like in your case, that might be a bad thing, but yeah, but no, but I do concur on the fact that she does serve a very important purpose in the anime. In that like she's supposed to show the simplicity of like
Yeah.
what love is supposed to be about. Like she's very open and stuff like that. When she's talking about her feelings with Kaguya and
Yeah.
Shirogane,
Yeah.
but but yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying when like um she can be a little bit too much sometimes, and there are definitely situations where I'm like this episode didn't like it the, the episode needed her, but I wish
Yeah.
she didn't have to be in it. But
I'll be honest. I enjoy her more when and this is borderline spoiler, so again pause right here, go see season one and then come back if you're already
Mhm,
back, or
mhm,
if you are back, welcome back. uh I will say I enjoy her more when things backfire on her or
mm,
come up it's happen. That's when I say I can enjoy some moments as a character, but her as a character in general, I can't get behind her.
no, I feel that.
And maybe it's just me and the types of characters. I very much know I'm in the minority on that
Mhm.
in terms of feelings for her, but I can't if I'm not going to get I either am going to love a character from the beginning or I'm just going to hate them from the beginning. And there really isn't much of a change for me unless they go through this drastic change, but I
Yeah,
haven't seen that, so as of right now, I just don't care for Chica.
totally fair.
But after that hot take, why don't you tell us your next one?
Yeah, actually, so this is actually this anime I'd say is more for people who actually have a very firm grasp of anime, and if
Okay.
they haven't seen this anime already, I would highly recommend Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Wow.
And
Okay.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
and the reason why I say that is because I think I've talked about this on Twitter. I'm not the biggest NGE fan. I wouldn't say I necessarily liked it,
Hmm.
but the reason why I say I recommend it is because it's like I was mentioning before of Gurren Lagann. It's a mecha anime, but it's not a mecha anime. It's much
Yeah.
more about psychology, the way
Yes.
people
Yeah.
view
Yeah.
you from different points of view, the way you view yourself as
Yeah.
opposed to how people see you. It's
I would
it's a
definitely
really
say it broke the mecha formula.
yeah. It absolutely breaks the mold for pretty much any anime, really.
Yeah.
Like it totally subverted my expectations. Even though I already knew what it was about.
Yeah.
Like I didn't
Okay.
expect it to progress in the way it did, and I
Right.
just think that it's something I feel like everyone who watches anime should watch at some point.
Okay. So then I do have a question for you. Do you
Okay.
recommend watching the original one or
Mm.
going out and watching the new slash reboot one with
On
all
Netflix,
the like it's reboot slash update version.
the one on Netflix, right?
I think the one on Netflix is the original. Okay,
Then
because the reason I say that, so I'm gonna let people know a little bit of a history of this show. So,
oh,
this anime is regarded like just across the board as like one of the best anime ever written,
yeah,
and like on most top 10 lists I've seen, it's usually within the top three, and it's still
absolutely.
one of
Yeah.
the most popular anime
Mm-hmm.
because again of so much of what it covers. And
Yeah.
there is so much I wish I could explain, but I can't explain it without literally spoiling so many parts of it.
No, yeah.
But what I was gonna say is this: in the original run, within like the last 5 episodes, they ran out of budget and were being
Yeah.
canceled because
Yeah.
when it came out, it wasn't that popular.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's gotten way more popular as the years went on. It actually got way more popular. But in the original, you can see the budget running out. You can see the story writing just kind of drop a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's a reason for the way I guess it ends because that's why they made the remake all these years later.
Mm-hmm.
So the new version is, I would say, the new version is definitely what it was is that minus the fact that they add a few new characters here and there,
Mm-hmm.
they also address a couple characters that were supposed to be addressed. And then on top of that, they also are now putting out the ending they said they wanted to actually have the ending with. So there are certain characters you get to see fleshed out more, certain characters you get to see actually, have their moment in the spotlight. And, but I can't really say much more than that because, again, I'll go into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
But if I were to say watch Evangelion, you can watch the original, but going in straight into the remake is also not a problem. So it would be like Evangelion 1.1, 2.2, and 3.3, and I think the newest one is 4.4. But I don't remember. I know they've now broken it into movies.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's movies now. Um, yeah. I watched the original. I haven't watched the rebuild of Evangelion, which is
Yeah.
the movies we're talking about. And yeah, no, I remember. I remember. I know exactly what you're talking about, and
Yeah.
especially the last 5 episodes, you could see like, because like, without getting into spoilers, I thought the reason the way it looked, the way it did in the last 5 episodes was because of an artistic choice.
Yeah.
And then I read about about the fact they lost funding for it, and I was like, oh, that makes so
Yeah.
much more sense
Yeah.
now.
It was supposed to be extended by at least, I think, 20 more episodes or something.
Jeez,
And
yeah,
then they were just like, nope, time to wrap it up. You guys need to finish this because we're cutting your funding. And this show is just it's not doing very well. So that's why it ends the way it does.
hmm
But again, I'm not going to explain what happens or just know that you can either watch the original and then go into the remake, or you can just watch the remake, because
yeah,
both are just a valid choice on how you want to tackle it.
no, absolutely,
They still cover a lot of the same bases and stuff.
yeah,
Because
and
my exposure. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say the stuff that is mecha actually does look very good,
Oh
especially in the
yeah,
original. Yeah,
100%. I was gonna say for me, I got into Evangelion, like my first time I checked it out was through the remakes, because when I first saw it, it was
Mm.
1.1 and 2.2 were coming out, because they
Mhm.
came out like almost back to back in like I think subsequent years. I don't remember entirely, don't quote me on that.
Mhm.
But yeah, they were very much like rapid succession of each other. Then
Mhm.
after that, it took like 4 or 5 more years for me to see 3.3.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's still really good. Um, and again, you can check out either,
Yeah.
essentially. But yeah, then I realized there was a original version, and then I watched the original version, and I actually read the manga for it too. Like when I
Yeah,
was
that's
reading
funny.
the manga was still going,
Yeah.
because like the manga took, I think the manga was going for like 10, 12 years
Mhm.
or something along those lines. But yeah, that's how it was for me.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So my next recommendation. Um, let's see. That's a bit interesting because like I have so many, but let's you know what, you went with Evangelion. Let's also go back to another classic.
All right.
This is one I would say people sleep on nowadays. It's really good and people know about it, but it is very slept on now. And I would say
Mhm.
it's Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh, yeah.
It is such a good 90s anime. Like that is, if you want the embodiment of 90s anime, that is one of the best ones to look at.
Yeah, I love Rurouni Kenshin because, like, for me, like, it really does, like, even though, like, it's not always, like, up, like, it just gives you those, like, good 90s vibes sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, it's so nice. Like, I love Rurouni Kenshin. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's when I remember I got you, I sort of introduced you to it because I was watching it on Netflix when I
Yeah.
found out they brought it to Netflix. So I was like, oh, sweet, I'll just watch this. And because Rurouni Kenshin was one of the first animes I had ever been exposed to.
Mhm.
But the thing was, it's like I never actually watched it because it was on the time of Toonami when I would when it would be late, and I wasn't always consistently able to watch Toonami. But so I watched it all the way through on Netflix, and you were there with me as we were watching it through. And I will say this, like, and again, this is going to be something from behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Uh, if you stop at season two, stop at season two. That's the best advice I
Mm.
can give about it because with season three, they had planned to do a full season of season three, and then they were told the show was getting canceled. So they didn't have enough time to develop storylines or anything for season three. So you go into season three and see that it does not live up to the same quality as season one and two.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's where a lot of the fandom like says season three is trash. That's why it was canceled. No, it was canceled before. Um, it was canceled before they actually got to like flush out season three.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just like, watch up at least to season two. Season three is to your own discretion. I've watched
Mhm.
all of it, but yeah, and I've
Viewer
watched the
discretion is
prequel
advised.
to it as well. There is a prequel
Oh.
which is later but beautifully animated.
Oh, I actually didn't know that, actually. Huh.
Yeah, yeah. But I realized I forgot to do this. The premise of Rurouni Kenshin is that it is a samurai. This takes place during the Meiji period, which is post samurai and everything. And
Mhm.
this guy who is an ex samurai, I guess at this point, he was known as like the best, one of the best samurai during the war. You have to know more Japanese history. I don't have time to
Mhm.
explain how all that, but just know that he's ex samurai who is now going around and protecting people to make up for something he did in his past. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you see his adventure along with his group of friends and stuff as how life goes on and stuff.
Yeah. And the contrast between him being the strongest samurai and what he actually like does in his day-to-day life is hilarious,
Oh yeah,
honestly. It's very funny.
he is still to me one of the best written characters, and I love the way he talks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you were to get into a classic, I would definitely recommend Rurouni Kenshin because it's not as long as some '90s anime, and has still some greatly developed characters.
Absolutely.
All right, so what else do you recommend then, Javi?
Oh yeah, I'm actually just looking through right now, and if I had to recommend something, I think that like I'm pretty sure people have watched this,
Yeah.
but I think Kill la Kill is a really good anime
There
for
we
people
go.
to
As soon as you mentioned Gurren Lagann, I also thought of Kill la Kill
watch. Yeah.
because I believe I don't entirely know how this works, but I'm not sure if it was the same art team or same studio because I know Trigger works
Yeah,
on Kill
Trigger.
la Kill, and that's what they're
Yeah.
like really famous for because
Yeah, no.
Trigger is known for producing in a certain art style manga and also like making satires of things.
No, yeah. Trigger did make Kill la Kill. I think Gurren Lagann, I can actually look this up right now, but Gurren Lagann was produced by but yeah, no, Studio Trigger did make Kill la Kill,
Yeah,
and
that was one
they're
of their
kind of
biggest
known
selling
for that.
points.
Yeah. And um what I like about Kill la Kill, I would say, is definitely the characters. The comedy is absolutely
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
definitely.
Uh, and the fight scenes are pretty damn good.
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh yeah.
not even just the animation, but like something I've noticed is like in some animes, like fight scenes only last like a few seconds, obviously because like animation's hard and like especially to make it look good. But
Yeah.
the way it looks and for how long some of the fights go on is actually kind of incredible. So and it doesn't feel drawn out. It feels very
No,
purposeful
no, no, no,
in
no.
like yeah, it's very purposeful in the way like in how it structures the fights and like the the settings and stuff like that. So, I mean, honestly, for me, if it weren't for like I don't want to get into like sports or anything like that, but like if it weren't for like a teensy little thing, it would probably be a 10 out of 10 for me. But I have it like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I can agree to that. For me, it is definitely an 8.5 out of 10, 8.5.
Mm. Yeah,
There are a couple details here and there I just don't like.
yeah,
There are a couple like things I wish they explored a little bit more on.
oh yeah,
But to give the quick premise of the anime, it is about a world in which your clothing kind of determines your status in the world.
hmm,
That's kind of the best way to explain it without really going into spoiler territories. And you follow
yeah.
this girl. Why am I forgetting her name? Ryoko. Riku.
Ryoko, yeah,
Yeah, Ryoko, who challenges the system and everything. That's
mm-hmm,
that's the best way I can explain it. There's way more to that, but yeah, you're gonna have to watch it, and it's on Netflix. So if you
yeah, it
have
is.
Netflix, if you have access to Netflix, you can watch the entire thing.
Yeah, and it's not very long. It's
No, no,
like
it's not. It's actually that's the part that was so wild to me. People really love the anime, and I think it's only like 26 episodes.
it's 24 actually.
24. Wow, even
Yeah,
less than I thought.
yeah.
I did take a break from it at one point when I was watching it because I binged like 19 episodes. Then I took a break
Hmm.
because I was just like, I don't really feel like watching this right now. And then I came back and I'm like, oh, okay, it has a pretty good ending. But that's
Hmm.
why I dock a little bit of the points because it didn't hold my attention all the way through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely. That's a great anime to recommend. Honestly, if you watch Gurren Lagann or Gurren Lagann, it always has multiple the way different ways people pronounce it. Also
Yeah.
watch Kill la Kill. Definitely
Absolutely.
also watch Kill la Kill. Yeah, and that interesting thing about that, Kill la Kill did not have a manga before it was released.
Yep, it's an original work. Yeah.
Yeah, which is I think is another selling point, and I think Gurren Lagann was also like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anything else you want to say about it?
No, yeah. Also, the music is pretty fantastic. The main,
Oh yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
definitely,
the main theme
definitely.
when Ryuko is it's I don't know how to pronounce. It's Ryoko. Like when she's fighting, like it's just the music very much
Yeah,
like wells up
very
within you. It's
recognizable soundtrack.
absolutely.
Let me think. Oh, I do have a warning for the viewers. This is not a spoiler by any means. This is just my own warning.
Hmm.
Fear the pink. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh, yeah,
That's it.
yeah. I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's what I give every person I recommend Kill la Kill to. That's the warning I give.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, next anime. Ooh. Or do I want to do manga? That's because there is so much. Oh my gosh, like I have had so much that I go through.
Mm-hmm.
that it's like it is just so much to unpack.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know which one I definitely want to recommend. And this is a manga. This is only a manga as of right now, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna do manga too, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you know Detective Conan. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you're aware of it. And for our like I would say bigger anime fans or like well established anime fans, they know what Detective Conan is too. It's also known as Case Closed in the
Mm-hmm.
West. Um, it's it's something like that. I would say it's just a little more kid friendly, not by much. It is called CMB.
Okay.
So this manga has like less than 100 chapters right now. But essentially, what it is that the best explanation I can give is it is about this young boy. He's like 13, I think,
Mm-hmm.
who is given what is known as the CMB rings. So there's a ring for every letter, and they're recognized as the world's most like cultural genius and have an unlimited supply of money that they can tap into in terms of research and funding.
Mm-hmm.
So you see him go through a lot of like history mysteries, political mysteries, regular murders. I say regular as of like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like no special murders.
yeah. And then you like there is so much that's attached to it and that goes along with it. So I would definitely recommend that is a recommendation I say people definitely go through and read
Mm-hmm.
because it is just the characters are well developed, but the storytelling more than anything is what I would say is the best part about it. Like how the mystery, the details that are proven when are described when the mystery is solved is something that like I would definitely say regular people do not think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I recommend.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool. Yeah. Anything else to add to that before I go on to my manga recommendation?
Um, no, no. Like I would
Okay.
just say if you're not a fan of mystery or history, it's
Yeah.
not for you. But that's about it.
All right. So moving on to my manga recommendation, I've told Zach about this. It's a manga that actually kind of drew me back into reading manga as opposed to just watching anime, and it's called Komi Can't Communicate. And
Yeah. Okay. So this is one I don't know anything about.
yeah, no, so I'll tell you the lead on this. So Komi
Yep.
Can't Communicate is about this girl called Shuko Komi, and she's basically, she's the school beauty, and she's very much the silent type. But the thing about her is that the reason why she's a silent type and not like very extroverted is because like she actually has a communication disorder. That's what the original manga is called in Japanese. Is that Komi-san has a communication disorder. And so the whole premise of the show is basically like everyone around her is misunderstanding like how she actually feels about them. And the only way she can really communicate that is with the help of the main hero, the protagonist, the male protagonist, let's say, called Tadano. And he basically what he does is he basically like kind of like interprets everything for her, and she kind of also actually to roll back, the reason why she's friends with Tadano is because she told him that she wanted to make 100 friends in high school, but the problem was that she can't talk. So Tadano's kind
Hmm.
of helping her with that.
That's
And
pretty
you
cool.
just meet a bunch of characters, and you meet other people with the communication disorders as well. So yeah,
That's really cool. Like what kind of genre would you say it is, or what does it label itself as?
it's very much a rom com, I would say. The main sort of like selling point is the fact that that it's not even a spoiler to say this, like Tadano and Komi very much like each other, like
Yeah.
they just yeah. And
It's
so
one of those. It's one of those tropes.
yeah, and so like that's another facet to it, is that like they like each other. It's kind of like Kaguya-sama in that like they know they like each other, but like they can't say it because of their communication disorders.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That is definitely. I don't know if I would give it like because rom coms are usually not on my like radar, but
Hmm.
it doesn't sound like a bad thing to invest time into at all.
And if I had to say, like, if I had to give it like a classification, I would say it's definitely more of a comedy than a romance, to be completely honest. Like the
Yeah,
romance is there,
yeah.
but like it falls behind the comedy, I
Yeah.
would say.
All right. I got another one that I just remembered, or I wouldn't say just remembered. It's just it. I haven't checked it out because I binged it all last year.
Hmm.
Um, this is one I definitely recommend. This is a more somber one though.
Mm.
Uh, and it gained popularity quite a bit within like the last 3 years. It's called Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Ooh, yeah.
The title is very misleading.
No,
Like
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that much. So what it's about is it's about a teenage guy as he goes through his life and he helps deal with other teenagers what is known as the adolescent syndrome.
Mm.
So there is uh it is kind of sci-fi, kind of slice of life. And there's so much more to it. There are so many layers, so I don't really know to tell what kind of genre it is.
Hmm.
But essentially, what it's about is like this guy goes around and helps teens deal with what is known as adolescent syndrome, which appears to be these supernatural things that happens only to teens, but no one
Mm.
else can notice it. Only certain people can see it.
Huh.
Yeah. And then like the explanation on how it's done is amazing and really cool.
Hmm.
But like that is definitely one I would say. It has 2 seasons and then a movie on top of that.
Oh wow, I
And
didn't even know about the movie.
yeah, no. The movie. Okay, so funny story about that, real quick. I started watching the movie, but didn't realize it was a movie
Oh man.
until like an hour in, because the story
Yeah.
pacing was just that good and felt that regular of an episode. I
Yeah.
didn't even realize it was a movie, and I was just like, oh, okay, sure, why not?
Well, I guess that's how you know that it's well written, is that the fact that you were an hour into it and you're still like engaged with it, even though you didn't watch like the stuff that came before, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
yeah, because I
Yeah.
was like, the only reason I even thought to occur to look at the time while I was watching it was because I was like, huh, I'm feeling hungry. I thought I had more time, and then I look at the time and I'm like, oh, okay, it's already
An
been
hour.
that. Like, how much time is left in this episode then? And I look and I'm like, oh, it's a movie. Of course, sure, why not? But yeah, what I will say is, if you watch this anime and the movie, all plots will be resolved, which is not something you usually see from anime nowadays.
Absolutely, yeah. I hate anime that just like touch on something, but they don't really talk about it too
Yeah.
much.
Or
It's
they
yeah,
have these open-ended endings because they want you to go read the manga.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely this is definitely something you just want to invest your time in. And it's really good. It is 100% worth everyone's time, and it has some great things going on. So I definitely recommend go and watch that. Like, you don't have to read the manga. You can just watch it, and it's a very well paced thing. And what you can essentially do is like you can watch it, pause, come back like let's say a day later because you have stuff going on in your life, and you can pick up
Mhm.
right where you left off.
Yeah.
I will say this: you cannot speed watch this though.
No. Yeah.
It is a anime you will definitely have to invest like some time into watching it. Like that's why I say you can pause and come back, but you can't like 1.5 speed it and think you'll get everything. Because
No,
I made
yeah.
that mistake on my first watch through. Like
Hmm.
I watched the first 3 episodes sped up, or like I skipped parts and it didn't make sense to me, so I went back and watched all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
that
speaking of that, before I go on to my recommendation, what
sure.
anime do kind of like feel like like what anime are better like when you like kind of like speed watch them or like can be watched in that way? Do you feel like?
Um, I'm not entirely sure, but I will say this for like, and I'm saying this. This is an anime that's this is one of the like longest running anime ever. I would
Ooh.
say you can probably speed watch a little bit of Detective Conan. Like not
Mm,
all of it, not all of it. You
yeah.
can speed through some of it.
Yeah.
But like, because it's usually essentially what it is an episode you see right now is broken down into about 3 to 5 chapters in the manga.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can speed a little through it, just a
Hmm.
little bit. It's not a lot, but you know, and it also depends on how engrossed you are in the mystery.
Sounds good.
Yeah, because they do a thorough breakdown of when things are solved for Detective Conan. Let me see. On top of that, what else can you speed watch? Arguably, you could speed watch some Kill la Kill.
No, I actually agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
because
I
I
totally agree
sped
with that.
watch like I sped up through some parts of the episodes
Hmm.
because you know like some parts were just like kind of mute points
Yeah.
that I was like I honestly just it didn't if the pacing of that section felt off with the rest of the anime, so I sped through it and then I really didn't miss much.
No, yeah, I will say that like I was mentioning before about the fight scenes, but there are some times where they're just talking. It's like, you don't really need to listen to this,
Yeah,
honestly.
I would definitely say there are about I'd say in my personal opinion there are about maybe 2 episodes you could in theory skip that have no great impact on the story.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah. So what else? What else do you got?
All right, so I think something that people should actually watch is Mob Psycho 100.
You know, I was thinking about that but I have myself have not read or watched it,
Yeah.
which like I probably will at some point.
Hmm.
I like it caught my attention way back in the day when it was under the radar,
Hmm.
but then I have no idea where the spike came of popularity. But I just never got on the train for it because I just didn't. I don't know. It never. The way the description worked, it never appealed to me.
Hmm.
But I would definitely say that that is a good recommendation.
Yeah. So basically, what the show is about is that this person called Mob, he's the sidekick that's in middle school, and basically, he is very like he's like a prodigy in terms of like using his psychic powers. Like he is very much considered like at least in the first season, he is very much considered probably like the most powerful psychic like in his area. And basically what it is about the fact that the reason why it's called Mob Psycho 100 is because like he has a sort of like gauge, I guess, in that if he reaches like 100% like sort of like of a certain emotion or like just if he gets to a certain capacity, he just loses control and
Yeah, yeah,
he completely unleashes all the psychic energy within him, and like he just goes berserk basically.
yeah, yeah,
And the way and sort of like the premise of it is like you kind of are like seeing like what kinds of things like make Mob feel this way, or like what kinds of things make Mob get to that point.
yep, yep,
And he's kept in check by like the people that are around him, specifically
yeah.
his mentor Reagan. So, I would say the best things about it are absolute like I think especially for this anime is definitely the animation. That's what it really
The
has
animation
going
is
for it.
very good. The
Yeah.
comedy, I would say, like I haven't
Oh
seen it.
well,
I haven't
yeah,
seen it, but I've seen clips. The comedy is very good.
yeah. I would personally put the animation as like is as probably as its best selling point, but the comedy is very good as well.
Yeah. If and people need any more incentive, and they don't know this, Mob Psycho 100 is done by the same creator as like he's literally working on this project at the same time.
Yep.
It's done by the same guy who writes One Punch Man,
Yep.
and you know it's the same art style and everything too.
Yeah, they even have a few Easter eggs from One Punch
Yeah,
Man in that show actually, yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, that's like the fact that he's writing 2 stories at the same time
Yeah. And
is amazing to
both
me.
very successful, by the
Yeah.
way. Like
Oh yeah,
Mob
very much
Psycho,
so.
yeah, yeah, Mob Psycho and
One Punch
One
Man.
Punch Man are
Yeah.
very successful like mangas. Like
Yeah.
it's actually kind of incredible.
I will say I think One Punch Man is on a no, I wouldn't say hiatus, but it's taking a little bit longer because I think he's dedicating a little more time to one Mob Psycho 100 right now. At
Yeah.
least to how I'm trying to keep up with everything.
Hmm.
Let's see. All right, so I got another one.
Okay.
Um, yeah, this is definitely also a very long watch, but it is in my opinion, the best '90s anime ever.
Hello.
Like, I know that's gonna be like, oh no, people with Dragon Ball and stuff, and oh no, Sailor Moon, and like, those are great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Um, actually, real quick before we continue, before I say this anime, just real quick. I noticed this earlier today when I was thinking about it. I've realized if people go and watch Dragon Ball, like usually that's a lot of people recommend that, or that's how they say they got into anime, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen two things. People either love Dragon Ball in all of its entirety, or they don't. Like, I've never seen an in between. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I've never seen it out of all the people I've seen exposed to it. Like, there's never just like, oh, it's okay. It's like either they really like it, or they just don't want to check out any of it. But anyway, I digress. That was just my quick 10-second rant there.
Yeah.
Okay, so on my favorite 90s anime that I would definitely recommend anyone go through and watch is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Ooh.
That is by far one of my favorite anime of all time. Definitely top 3 for me. And I would say for like, if you want a shonen anime with high depth, amazing storytelling, animation that still really holds up, and a kick-ass theme song that just does not get tiring no matter how many episodes you have of it, Yu Yu Hakusho is the way to go. And I believe, if I remember off the top of my head, it's like 198 episodes, I think, with a movie or two. I believe it has 2 movies and then 2 OVAs.
Okay.
And it's still so good. Ridiculously good.
Yeah, so actually, do you mind? What actually is Yu Yu Hakusho about?
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. I got so lost in how good it was, I forgot what it's to tell. So Yu Yu
Yeah.
Hakusho is about a boy who dies, and comes back to life, but on the condition that he now has to hunt demons. So right out the gate, you see some great character development, and like I think it was the first or second episode, I'm already like in tears watching it. It is my very first anime ever.
Oh wow.
That, like, literally that's the first thing that got me into anime. And I watched it and I could not put it down. Like, it is just that good. And the thing is, it takes a long time to watch, but none of it is filler, which is the weirdest part to me.
Yeah.
It's that much of a story that's packed together. Like, there is hardly any filler whatsoever.
That is incredible, honestly. Like, that's like 4 years worth of production at least. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's how. I don't know if it was 4 years, but I think it went for about 6 years. I don't remember off the top of my head, because I didn't watch it till way later. But yeah, that is one I would definitely recommend if you want an anime you can really invest time into. Yu Yu Hakusho is the way to go.
Yeah.
So, that's what I would say. Again, the animation holds up, the stories hold up. Like, it is just, it's not something though you can just knock out in an afternoon. Hell no.
Oh no. Absolutely not.
Yeah, so that is what I recommend for people. And there are definitely anime veterans that will tell you how great it is too. And the part that kind of hurt me, like when I talked about it with other people, is that there are people who we're now, you and I, Javi, we're now in this age where people are growing up that they don't know the anime we know, even though we know them as these greats, like on how incredible they are. But they have no idea what some of these anime are. And I'm gonna discuss what my next one is as my next recommendation, but I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah. So just to kind of follow up on that point you just mentioned, I know people that don't know what Code Geass is. Like that
hurts me to my soul.
That's very weird to me, but also at the same time I kind of get it. But
yeah.
I'm kind of jumping off from Yu Yu Hakusho. By the same offer, I would highly recommend Hunter x Hunter.
Yes, that is, Hunter x Hunter is very good. Do you recommend watching? Wait, so actually, I'll let you explain the history. I'll let you explain the history of it real quick.
Yeah. So basically, Hunter x Hunter is basically about this character called Gon. He's from a place called Whale Island, and basically the story for him is basically he wants to find his dad, because his dad left him with his aunt at a very young age, and so he wants to find out, why did my dad, leave me? But not like, okay, here's the thing. He doesn't resent his dad. The reason why he wants to find him is because he wants to know what was so goddamn cool he left me with my aunt. So
Wow.
that's kind of the promise of it.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
and so Gon is a very happy-go-lucky person, and basically what he has to do in order to achieve that is he has to take the hunter exam. And hunters in this world are basically the people that like, so they're basically the most powerful people in the world, essentially. Like they do a variety of jobs. They're not just like hunting people or
Yeah.
animals. They do a variety of like just like miscellaneous jobs, like
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
like high class jobs and stuff like that. So it's it's a setting in which like it's it really does expand quite a bit. Like you go from Whale Island to like basically the entire world, and it's just very interesting to watch. But the version I watched was 2011, and the reason why I would recommend 2011 version over maybe 1999 is because I didn't watch 1999, but 2011 has everything at least that's been like officially released by the author so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
I won't go into like what's actually happening right now in the manga, but what is in the 2011 version is what the author finished before they actually started serializing the anime.
Okay.
So yeah,
So if I remember correctly, and you can correct me on this, so
okay,
I have not watched Hunter x Hunter. It is on my to watch list, but that is a big commitment to watch.
yeah,
So it's not an anime I'm saying I'm ready to tackle right now, because there is still so much anime out there that I have watched and have not watched. But this is what it was for me. So, if I remember correctly, there is the 1999 version, and what I
yeah,
remember hearing was the 1999 version was what they were working on at the time when it was first coming out. And this
yep,
is like the guy was fresh off of Yu Yu Hakusho. He was like, you know what, time for a new manga project. He started Hunter x Hunter. And then, as far as I know, at least to what I remember, he just stopped writing Hunter x Hunter. He was like, you know what, I'm not feeling it. I'll come
hmm,
back to this later. And he went on this massive hiatus.
yeah.
And then in the 2011 version, to what I understand, it either picks up from where it left off, or it's just restarted and said, oh, okay, here we go again. This is what I wanted to write. So
No.
you can correct me on that.
No, yeah. So the 2011 version includes everything from the very beginning. They basically did a reboot essentially,
Okay, okay,
and yeah. So it starts from the beginning. You see Gon on Whale Island, and it goes all the way up to what had been right up to that point, which is the Chimera Ant arc, or a little bit past it. But yeah.
okay.
So, um, but yeah, no, that's what the 2011 version covers. And the reason why I recommend the 2011 version is because I think that well, the reason why I recommend the Alien version is because I want to watch the one. It's the one I watched.
Yeah,
First of all,
yeah.
yeah. But second, it's first for one thing. I love the character designs a little bit more. It looks a lot more fleshed out, and it's very beautiful. Like
Yeah.
I never watched Hunter x Hunter and thought like, oh, the background doesn't match what's like actually what the characters look like, or oh, the animation. Like I never thought that. It's always been at least good.
Yeah.
And for another thing, like the music is very like apt. Like not even just like, but the soundtrack, it really matches everything
No,
that's
I get
happening.
what you mean. I get what you mean.
Yeah. So
Um, yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead.
no, but yeah, like I really can't praise it enough because even though there's a very big chunk of it that I don't necessarily dislike, but I feel like it could have been better, I still think it's very much worth everyone's time.
You know, I think the biggest thing to me is that uh is that like this writer literally went on hiatus with the story, and you know, he but yet he comes back essentially more than a decade later, and people flock right back to the story. And to me, that
Mm.
just shows how good of storytelling it was.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say that is a good anime to recommend. All right, it looks like we're running a little out of time here on our end. So do you want to do one more big recommendation, or do you want to rapid fire?
You know what? I like the idea of a rapid fire. Let's do that.
Okay. Pick 5 right now off the top of your head, and then we'll rapid fire. And you can go first on this one.
All right. For one thing, I would recommend the entirety of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Okay.
I would recommend Konosuba. I,
I'll
I,
talk to you
I,
about that one later.
yeah, I highly recommend My Hero Academia, especially as a starter anime. I think it's a very good starter
That
anime.
is definitely a good starter.
Yeah. One Punch Man we mentioned earlier. Really love One Punch Man. And then what else really? I would say it's currently airing and I would actually really recommend Black Clover honestly.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, let's see. If I were to recommend 5 right now off the top of my head, let's see. Wow. Okay. A Certain Magical Index and
Ooh.
its overall series. It's very big. One of our personal favorites, Oron High School Host Club.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Definitely
Hmm.
for those, because that is a great gateway as well as a good one for veterans if they haven't seen it.
Yep. Currently watching that right now. Yep.
Yep. Let's see. Cowboy Bebop, an amazing classic from the 90s, also very good. And then if I had to recommend one more, you know what? I'll throw this out there. Persona 4 the animation. It's originally a video
Ooh.
game, but the
Ooh.
anime is really good. Like,
Hmm.
just really good.
Yeah.
So, like, it tells the video game's story very well. Obviously, I'm not going to say don't play the video game, but
Hmm.
the just the game is so good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Javi, for bringing up this topic today. Though that is awesome.
Absolutely. And actually, before we wrap up,
Yeah.
you mentioned Persona 40 animation. If you want a good example of an anime that's based off a video game that's not good, watch Persona 5, the animation. How about that? Now that is something that you can dig your
Okay.
teeth into and spit out right away. But yeah, no.
Yeah, definitely watch. No, do yourself this favor. Watch Persona 5 the animation, then watch Persona 4 because then that
Yeah,
way you can recover from it.
yeah, absolutely. You can appreciate it more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
dude, I'm really happy you brought up this topic today.
absolutely. Like this is something I actually really wanted to talk about. But yeah, no, I was really happy to talk about this stuff with you, and yeah, I think that's a good place to end for today.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? We might make another. There might be another day where we just go ahead with another episode of this of more recommendations.
Honestly, yeah, especially
Yeah.
if we watch more manga and well, watch
Watch
more
more manga.
manga,
Yeah.
read more manga and watch more anime in between, we absolutely could do another episode of this,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, definitely. There is still. We have not scratched the surface of everything you and I have seen
Absolutely,
together.
yeah.
But yeah. And if you guys have any manga or anime recommendations, feel free to leave them in the comments below.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
You know,
that's gonna be
just
it
be
for today.
respectful and like don't hate on each other's manga or anime preferences. Everyone has their tastes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, you know that was really good.
Absolutely. So I think it's gonna be it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys tune in next time, which we don't know when that will be, but hopefully you guys tune in. Hopefully you guys subscribe and follow us on our socials
Yep.
just so you guys can actually get a gauge of when we'll be doing this podcast again. So
Yep.
again, thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you next time. See
Yep.
ya.
Have a good one. Bye.